Today we pick up where we left this Honda Stream from our last episode. Last episode, I stripped it down of all its plastics. This bike is 42 years old and all those plastics were rusted on with bolts, washers and screws that had been there since the beginning of time, and they thoroughly kicked my ass stripping them off. So before me I have a mixture of new panels and old panels. All this stuff here has to go back up on the bike. But before we do that, we're going to pull the motor out, the fuel tank out, the oil tank, the front forks, the headset, the wheels, the works is all coming out. So stay tuned. First job is the motor. Now I have these cables that I want to leave connected to the headset. So I'm going to start taking the wheels off, try and locate where these cables run to and where they live, and then hopefully it all starts to become clear once the wheels are off. Let's get to it. Alright, where are we up to? Well, it seems like it's taking ages, and it is. You would have seen in the time lapse me struggling with the brake cable on the right hand rear, which is here. I'm still struggling with it. We're going to move on to this side, and I'm sure that's going to cause some struggles as well. The actual brake lever, this little bit here on the other side, is rusted solid. It's not moving when you pull the cables. Got a fair bit of the electronics out. The carburetor's still in, so we're going to move to take that out. Still got some cables up here, which I'm going to try and leave up here, but disconnect from the engine, so when the engine comes out, the cables stay where it is, and hopefully I can have them on the headset to make the job a little bit easier about reassembling. Alright, things have progressed a little bit. This is what the motor looks like now. Pretty much got all the major components off it, the exhaust, the airbox, the wheels. We only have release the brake cables. So you can see the brake cables are done, but there's a few issues pushing them through the holes. They're just seized in there. Not to worry. From there, it's done. The only thing left are 2 bolts and those bloody brake cables. So okay, the little bike's been kicking my ass still. The brake cables in particular, but I think I have figured it out. I've found a little brass bush that goes through the case, and I believe if I punch that free, the brake cables will be released. Let's see how we go. sizzling. Okay, I think this is it. I think the motor should just lift off now. I hope. And I hope the bike stays on the stand when I lift the motor off. Nope, we're not yet there. Still have some hurdles to go. Something over here. You can see there's another tiny cable, and it goes into this weird junction box like that. Now, take 2 of pulling the motor out. That little cable was the park brake, and I've managed to disassemble it. This time it's time. The motor should just lift. Oh yes! Oh yes! Alright, there you have it. Motor finally out of the frame, and it's been a battle, but here is the bike now. You can see what kind of state things are in. A bit of surface rust on this stuff. It should clean up okay, but that's been pretty epic. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to have time this video to strip the rest of the things out of the bike, just simply because of the amount of time that took. But we do have the motor up on the bench, and good cleaned it up pretty good. We'll probably just go over it with a wire wheel, tidy everything up, pull the carburetor, send it through the cleaner, the ultrasonic cleaner. Paint some of the things that are on it, clean the rust out of it, and hopefully it's good to go back on there and live another day. So that is it. Motor's out. We're in a good spot to continue. We've got a fairly good idea of anything else that we have to order. We've still got a long way to go on this build, a long freaking way to go, but we are getting there. Like and subscribe. See you on the next video. Cheers.